1226 on Facebook for the latest up-to-date coverage near you.
Closed captioning for this newscast brought to you by Hearing Associates of South Carolina.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, first at 4.
The search continues for two missing boaters who went into Clarks Hill Lake yesterday and never resurfaced. Georgia DNR has only released the ages of the boaters. However, family members are speaking out. One relative says Edward Kirk Jr. went into the water and didn't come back up. That's when one of his friends jumped in after him and also never emerged. There are different reports about how he ended up in the water. Sydney Heiberger's live at Clarks Hill Lake near the Cherokee boat ramp where she's been all day. Sydney, what's it looking like out there?
Well, Zana, crews have been out here all day since the sun first came out around 7 o'clock this morning, and they tell me they will be here until it gets dark out. I'm going to step out of the way here and show you the boat ramp where you can see a lot of people. They have been coming in and out on their boats all day. Search teams say, like I said, they're going to be here all day, continuing to search the shoreline and in the water. Columbia County Fire Department's dive team, Georgia DNR game wardens, and sonar operators, and the Lincoln and Columbia County Sheriff's Office all out here searching the water and shoreline. We know conditions on the water were windy yesterday, and the search, we're told, is pretty tough because this area of the lake, DNR says, can be anywhere from 30 to 100 feet deep. They also say the water right now about 66 degrees. They are calling this a recovery mission, but the victims' families tell us they're holding on to all the hope they can.
We're in complete shock. You never think that something like this would happen, especially, my little brother. My family, we're completely devastated.
And right now the Cherokee boat ramp and picnic area are closed to the public as crews are searching the shoreline and water. But like we said, we did talk to Kirk's sister. They tell us he has 4 daughters. Tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're telling you more about the man they say they're searching for.
Sydney, thanks so much for that live update and following this story for us. More news ahead, but first let's get a quick check of the weather with First Alert meteorologist Riley Hill as we take a look over Wheeler Road. And Riley, it's beautiful.
It is a great way to start off the work week. We're looking at mostly sunny skies, just a few high-level clouds filtering through this afternoon. Temperatures were up to 80 here in Augusta. Many of us have stayed in the 70s most of this afternoon, but winds have been pretty calm. Not all that breezy today. They've been generally less than 10 miles an hour for most of us. Very nice afternoon, though. Most of us sitting in the mid to upper 70s. A few other 80s, though. 81 up in Aiken, 78 in Waynesboro, 78 in Millen, and 79 down there in Sylvania. So very comfortable temperatures, close to average for this time of year, and we're expecting a nice evening. We should stay dry and mostly clear, and actually later this evening we have the super pink full moon that's going to be rising in the eastern sky. This is the first of 2 super moons for our 2021 calendar. It's the pink moon. It's not going to look pink. It's just a name it got because of a type of moss that usually blooms this time of month. But overall, the best time is going to be between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight when that moon's low in the sky. We'll have a look at your First Alert forecast in just a little bit.
The family of a North Carolina man killed by sheriff's deputies last week is expected to see the body cam video of the shooting today. 42-year-old Andrew Brown was shot and killed while sheriff's deputies were serving a warrant on felony drug offenses. This happened in Elizabeth City. That's about 30 minutes south of the Virginia border. Witnesses say Brown tried to get away in his car. Scanner audio indicates Brown was shot in the back. There have been growing calls to release the video, which in North Carolina requires the decision of a judge.
What we just saw happen in Minneapolis, where Derek Chauvin being held criminally liable, guilty for killing George Floyd. Is that the reason they're trying to hide the video? Because they don't want accountability?
7 deputies have been put on paid administrative leave. The sheriff says the tapes should be shown to the public if it won't hinder the state's investigation. The Department of Justice is investigating the Louisville Metro Police Department over the death of Breonna Taylor. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland made the announcement this afternoon. He says the investigation will be similar to one opened last week into the Minneapolis Police Department.
If violations are found, the Justice Department will aim to work with the city and police department to arrive at a set of mutually agreeable steps that they can take to correct and prevent unlawful patterns or practices.
The Attorney General says DOJ has received support and cooperation from Louisville city leaders and the police department into the investigation. The Fort Jackson Army drill instructor accused of assaulting a black man on a viral video will be tried in civilian court. Jonathan Pentlands is charged with third-degree assault and battery after video surfaced of him shoving a black man at a neighborhood in the Columbia area. Pentland is suspended from his duties pending the investigation. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham is urging people to get the COVID vaccine after touring a vaccine clinic in North Charleston this morning. Graham says for those who are not vaccinated, the chance of getting COVID is as high as it's ever been before.
I want South Carolina to lead the way in terms of vaccinations among the population and lead the way in terms of reopening and staying open.
Senator Graham visited the Medical University of South Carolina. He says he actually received the vaccine back in February and trusts the system and professionals. More and more people are not getting their second COVID vaccine. That's according to the CDC. New data through early April shows nearly 8% of people missed their second dose. Experts say the increase in missed second doses was expected as eligibility expanded to more people. It's unclear why the second doses are being missed or delayed. The CDC says more analysis is needed. President Biden is coming up on his 100th day in office this week, and he's set to deliver his first address to a joint session of Congress. While he's gotten some high marks in a recent poll, his administration still faces challenges with vaccine hesitancy and immigration. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
Days away from his 100th day on the job, President Biden is gearing up for his first address to a joint session of Congress Wednesday with a smaller in-person audience.
From his vantage point, it still is an opportunity to speak directly to the American people about the progress that's been made, the work that's still ahead.
A new CBS News poll shows most Americans approve of the way President Biden is handling the country's top priorities, with especially high marks on the coronavirus response and vaccine distribution. The president is also receiving high grades on his $2 trillion infrastructure proposal dubbed the American Jobs Plan, but the survey showed a partisan divide.
I give the president A+ on rhetoric, but I give him an F on results.
Republicans are expected to push back against a soon-to-be-unveiled second spending proposal from the president, which focuses on families, child care, and education.
One element of this reform will be to change how we tax capital gains. As you all know, that's income from selling stocks and other assets for taxpayers that make more than $1 million per year.
Republicans have also hit President Biden on his handling of immigration, an issue on which he polls under 50%.
We've got to secure that border, and the Biden administration can no longer ignore the problem.
Today, Vice President Harris is meeting virtually with the president of Guatemala to discuss the root causes of the rising number of migrants, many of them unaccompanied minors, at the southern border. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Today, the president signed an executive order creating a task force on worker organization and empowerment. The White House says this task force will be led by the vice president, and it'll focus on using its existing federal authorities to help workers join labor unions. Breaking news just into the newsroom. We've learned a man has died after a fire over the weekend in our area. Officials tell us Bobby McDonald died at a fire Saturday night on Sun Hill Road in Sandersville. That's in Washington County. The state fire commissioner says fire crews found him when they were trying to put the fire out. They say they did try to save him, but couldn't. In other news, the U.S. is sending troops to Afghanistan to protect forces as they withdraw. Several defense officials say the Pentagon is gathering about 650 troops in the coming days. President Biden announced earlier this month the U.S. would be ending its longest-running war. The withdrawal is set to begin May 1st, and it's going to be completed by September 11th. We're now waiting for Congress to give the green light on a bill that calls for Georgia to observe daylight saving year-round. Governor Kemp signed the bill just last week. State Senator Ben Watson says the goal of the bill is to keep Georgians from having to spring forward an hour and fall back an hour every year. Watson says the time changes impact people's health, like sleep cycles, mood, and even an increased risk of heart attacks. Former Georgia Representative Doug Collins, this is goodbye for now, but probably not forever. GDOT crews will be repairing median barriers along a stretch of Gordon Highway this week. The work area is from Walton Way and almost goes to Deansbridge Road. They'll also be preparing roads for repaving. GDOT says the work will be from 8 in the morning to 5 o'clock every day for a week. They say to expect lane closures in that area. Currently in both Richmond and Columbia County, there are a total of 10 construction projects going on right now. Baseball fans, this is for you. Tickets for the Green Jackets home games for next month are on sale today. Some people were out this morning getting their tickets at the box office, but you can also buy yours online. SRP Park is going to open up a limited capacity for the first month, so some sections will have socially distanced pods and others will be at normal capacity. Still ahead, a favorite toy stolen from a 4-year-old. Coming up, how police stepped up and surprised the little guy with something even better.
And we are looking dry the next several days, but temperature is going to be warming up for us. We'll take a look at that hot forecast next.
A 4-month I-Team investigation uncovers a local county is close to being flat broke.
There's definitely something not right.
We find books and bank accounts that don't add up. An I-Team investigation tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Officers in Arizona went the extra mile to help out a little boy who had his priceless toy stolen. They tried tracking it down, but when that didn't work, they did the next best thing. Laura Podesta has the heartwarming story.
Gerald Philbrook hugs sharp turns like a pro. This is not his first battery-powered ride-on tractor. The 4-year-old had a similar toy he put together with his dad from the parts of other tractors. But earlier this month, it was stolen from the back of his dad's truck.
Why would someone do that? I would have been happier if they had taken my truck.
His dad posted this plea on Facebook. I will sell whatever I can to come up with a reward if this is returned. Police in Tempe, Arizona saw it, and a search began. But when they couldn't find the tractor...
Hey, we heard about your data tractor. Thank you. So we decided to go get you one. You want to see it? Yeah. Come on down.
The new toy tractor was courtesy of Walmart and the Tempe Police Officer Association.
That looks totally cooler than my actual.
I get emotional. I'm an emotional guy. But yeah, it just filled me with a lot of joy.
Gerald is feeling the joy too.
It's actually cooler than the other one.
Why is it cooler?
Because it has more stuff.
From a custom license plate to some brakes that have already been put to the test.
I just crashed right into the thingy. Oh, dang.
Gerald's dad says the first upgrade will be a helmet for the preschooler who definitely has a need for speed. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
That's the cutest thing. He's having the best time ever, and you know what? I'm happy that this is cooler than the other one. I know he's going to hold on to this forever, as long as those batteries work. Well, let's take a look over Bobby Jones Expressway, and Riley, I mean, we have no complaints today, especially after a rainy Saturday.
I know, beautiful weather out there to start off the work week for us. High pressure sitting right on top of us. It's going to keep our weather pattern fairly quiet over the next couple of days. And since we have high pressure just kind of moving off the coast, we're bringing back a south wind across most of the country. So take a look at temperatures currently across the board. We're up to 88 in Omaha. Chicago's at 76. St. Louis is at 81. And we're going to continue to stay in this general type of pattern. These above average temperatures just going to be hanging around mainly the central and eastern half of the country as we head into tomorrow. More towards the East Coast as we head into our Wednesday, then will likely be one of those warmer spots heading into Thursday. So as far as those temperatures go, the next several afternoons, they are going to be on the warmer side, trending above average all the way until we get to the end of the work week. Thursday is looking like the hottest day of the week with potentially hitting 90 later into our Thursday. Now, a beautiful day out there currently looking over Aiken County. We're currently at 78 degrees and generally sunny conditions. You can see a few high-level clouds here. This is just what we're expecting into tonight as well. Maybe a few of these Sears clouds late tonight, but generally clear for the most part. And our low temperatures should generally be falling to the mid to low 50s by early tomorrow morning. If you live in near Augusta, proper inside Bobby Jones, you'll most likely stay closer to 60 for those low temperatures tomorrow morning. But Tuesday's shaping up to be a beautiful day, maybe to hit the Augusta Canal, do some kayaking. We're expecting highs tomorrow to be hitting the mid-80s across most of the area, and those winds will be light out of the south, and mostly sunny skies again on your Tuesday. Those high temperatures, once again, 85 for us here in Augusta. Mid-80s, I think, is a good bet for most of us here around the central and southern CSRA, closer up towards the lake, most likely staying into the low 80s. But dry weather in store. If you need to wash the car the next couple of afternoons, we're expecting mostly sunny skies through Wednesday. By Thursday, we'll start to notice a few more clouds show up, but generally nice weather for us. Just watching these temps go up as we head towards Thursday. Now, remember, later this evening, we actually do have the full moon rising in the eastern sky. You can check that out, and it's actually a super moon as well, which means it's just a little bit closer to Earth than usual in its orbit. Now, as we head into Friday, that's our next chance for rain heading into the work week. It looks like just a generic kind of cold front moving on through. Nothing that looks too concerning at the moment, but that's what we're going to be monitoring through the rest of the work week. As far as the weekend forecast goes, looking seasonal as far as temperatures, maybe a few showers can be squeaked out on Saturday.
Thanks, Riley. NASA's Ingenuity helicopter keeps... As the weather starts warming up, many people are going to be spending time outside and maybe hiking some of the many trails in our area. While that exercise is good for health, it can be dangerous if you're hiking by yourself. Hundreds of thousands of hikers go missing every year because they simply walk off path and get lost. Jamie Tucker shows us how an app can help save lives.
I saw a story the other day about a hiker lost in the woods, and he had just enough phone battery to take a picture of his surroundings, send them to a friend. By some miracle, someone recognized that general area. They were able to find it. Well, I found an app that makes that even simpler, sending their exact location with just 3 words. It's called What 3 Words. The developers divided the Earth into a grid of 57 trillion squares. Each 3 by 3 meter square has a unique 3-word combination. The address of this square is Point Crew Supply. Here in the middle of nowhere is Ropes Warnings Persist. Take just a step or two and you'll be at Holding Compulsion Blaming. Get it? By sharing just those 3 words in a text or tweet, someone will know precisely where you're standing. No 2 combinations are the same. Even combos with similar sounding words are separated by thousands of miles, so there's no confusion. The other person doesn't have to have the app. Tapping on your text takes them to the What 3 Words website, which sends the location to Google Maps and Google Earth or Waze for turn-by-turn directions. The app is being used now by first responders, pizza delivery, ride-share services. It's slowly being discovered by the general public and hikers. And just think of the application, stranded on the side of the road, remembering where you parked, or sharing your exact location with a friend at an outdoor festival with just 3 words. I'm Jamie Tucker, and What 3 Words is the app of the day.
Always learning something new with Jamie, but certainly an important app to download if you're going to download any app at all. What 3 Words is a free app for iPhones and Android devices, so certainly makes you want to download it more. Riley?
Boating forecast looking good if you're heading up to Clarks Hill for your Tuesday. Temperatures up at the lake should be hitting the 80s tomorrow afternoon. Then look at that 7-day forecast next.
Every morning all over. That's why you call 2 Men in a Truck.
When we say we're your first alert weather team, that's our problem. All right, looking at satellite imagery this afternoon, we're tracking some high-level cirrus clouds. So these are actually ice crystals way up high in the sky. Doesn't really obstruct our view of the sun too much, so mostly sunny conditions out there currently, and expecting mostly clear conditions heading into tonight. So this is good because we want to be able to check out the full moon later this evening, and we should be able to with this cloud cover staying very thin and very high. Here's a look at it over Grovetown currently. Traffic moving smoothly on Lewiston Road there, just down below our tower cam. We're currently currently at 80 degrees here in Augusta. It is a warm afternoon, but seasonal, kind of right where we should be for this time of year. Winds have been very light as well, generally less than 10 miles an hour. But tonight we actually have the super pink full moon. So tonight is a super moon because the moon's going to be a little bit closer to Earth than a normal full moon usually would be. So about 8% closer. Could appear a little bit brighter, maybe a little bit bigger. Not really going to be all too noticeable to the casual observer. But moonrise at 7:49 p.m. The best times between 8 and 9 when it's just low in the sky, low in the horizon. That's when you can sometimes see the moon illusion. Just makes it look a little bit bigger. But nice weather in store all the way through Thursday. High temperature is going to stay above average. Rain possible by Friday.
3 separate shootings in Aiken County over the weekend. Coming up, we'll take a deeper look into the rise in violence and how the community is responding. Stick with us.
Well, let me tell you what